Hey guys, it's Rosina Starr. It is just a rainy day out, but guess what? Things are still happening at my place. Lot got done today. Cleaned up the house, mopped up the floors. I love rainy days. But today we are going to talk about, are you part of a narc harem? And here's what you can look for even at the beginning of a relationship to know if this person may be a narcissist and possibly if they may even have a harem and trying to make you be a part of it. Because it's kind of really subtle the way these people can do things to make you believe or not believe that this is actually happening with what you're going through and the situations that kind of happen over time, right? When you're just getting to know someone. So I had a situation where I knew a guy named Jim, and he was being much older than me, about 30 years older than me. I didn't exactly know what to think, except that I saw success around his hand at his place of business. He had a well-liked name. He, donated to a lot of organizations. You could find his name on a wall at a hospital. But, there was just something about him that didn't really make a lot of sense. The fact that he had to be so cheap about things. Narcissists are very cheap. A lot of them are. Especially if it's their money they're spending. They have no problem spending somebody else's money. But if they are spending their own money, they're going to be much more selfish with it. A lot of them have mediocre jobs, or they're very successful. Psychopath, sociopath, narcissistic types of people have businesses, and then they just kind of prey on that type of business that they have. And that's probably all they have. They don't have any good friendships. They don't have, good relationships with their siblings or their children. All they have is their accomplishments. So when you get to their house, here's a sign. You see their initials on the wall. One guy I met even had BJ on the wall above the mantle. I was like, that's hilarious. Is that like your favorite thing that you like to have done or something? Because I've never seen somebody so hardcore about it. He's like, no, those are my initials. I'm like, why not put a middle initial in there, son? But anyway, again, they're with the information, they're blatantly in front of your face, right? That's not normal. So anyways, this guy, I actually went over to his house when I'd first met him, and he gaslighted me the very first night I was there with my coat. He had a very big house out in the middle of, gated community and whatnot, and I realized he picked up that place over there on the outskirts of Rockford because, the taxes are much cheaper there. So anyway, getting to know the guy, and I, the very first time I went to his place, I had written off the coat comment or the coat situation just because I kind of wanted to hang in there a little further and see, how far this would really go. But I already got a feeling that maybe this isn't a good idea to be dating somebody like this I've never really seen before to the extent of who he was. So this is how I kind of decided he has a harem somewhere. Let's just say you go out to a restaurant. He doesn't want to go many public places. He only wants you to go to specific places only he will recommend. It'll never be up to you where you go dine out at. A lot of the times, he won't even want to take you out. He'll just want you to come straight to his house. Why do you suppose that is? Because he doesn't want you to be seen with him, or anybody he might know would be seen with you out somewhere in the town that you both live in. So how would he explain that? Plus, he seemed to be really hung up on his ex-wife, which, when an ex-narc is with somebody so long and, he couldn't divorce her because then he'd look like a failure. She actually had to divorce him. He was separated supposedly 11 years. Yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow for a narc to have that happen. And she, probably still leeches off of him anything she can. Now, people would say, well, aren't you jealous? Don't you want to hang in there to get something? Not really. I mean, that man, there's so many other people out there. If I was looking to fish, he would be a medium to small fish to me, to be honest. Because I've seen people that actually do have a wealth of prosperity, that live the right way, and that treat people well on the other side of things. And they are living a lot better and a lot differently, and they make people feel better in their presence. So, and that's not who this guy was. So anyway, you know you're part of a harem because they'll only call you when they want to call you. They're very tight-lipped when they call you. You have to do all the talking, which almost kind of feels forced or like it's work for you to do on the phone with them because they're so tight-lipped, they're not contributing anything to the conversation, which makes sense because then you can't hold anything against them either. So, every conversation will be them calling you and hopefully you answer, or them texting you and they want you to get back to them right away. And if you don't, they're probably not going to be happy about that either, and they'll make a mental note of it. They will purposely disappear on long trips certain places, like Canada, or a road trip to St. Louis, or I had to go to this place to a buddy's cabin. They'll take all these trips and be purposely inaccessible to you in case you might need them for anything. Phone calls, financial support, just somebody to talk to about your day. They're going to be always very unavailable because they are that busy and that important, and you just better understand that, okay? Which is a crock of shit, by the way. It's meaningless nonsense. And pay the cost to be the boss, maybe. Not in my life, Sonny. Not for very long, anyway. So I let this go on and on, because that's what he did is he went to Canada and he had whatever he had over there going on, and it got to a point where he didn't want me to really leave the house. So he started buying me everything to keep in my house that I would need to stay there, so I would no longer need to ever go to the store for myself to get things. Now that was a little ridiculous, right? And the rest of these bills, they're just going to magically pay themselves, trying to be a boyfriend, but from a distance. And another thing is they'll future fake you right away. Oh, I want you to like this house, so one day when I ask you to live in it, you'll say yes. Oh, you wouldn't need to preemptively bring that up, that you'd want me to live there. You'd have to just bring it up at the time. That's what normal people do. Right away, you're getting scammed and suckered when they're saying, later on, one day, maybe, I would like to, I will ask you, I would hope that you would. Phrases like that. That's future faking. And that can go on a lifetime with a relationship with a narcissist. And they're always dangling the carrot and moving the goalpost. And that's another video for a different day. So then, when they're trying to make you a member of the narc harem, like I said, they'll be very inaccessible, very bossy about where you eat, very possessive about who you're with and where you're at. They will command you to send pictures of where you're at or who you're with to prove where you're at and where you say you are. They will only reimburse when they say they will reimburse you for something. If you're out to a nice dinner or something, or you're just paying for yourself somewhere, getting a nice top at a store, they may mention that they'll pay for it, and then they won't. And then another thing I noticed about this person is when he would not hold up his end of the deal, he would pretend like he didn't receive my messages. He would not have the communication go back and forth. He would be a dead signal to me. So it's almost like you could send a text and it would go into outer space. Who knows where the text message went, but he sure as heck didn't receive it. Doesn't matter what your phone says. So they're always going to have a miscommunication with you, and it's always going to be your fault. You're just going to feel a resistance there, and it's not really flowing, and everything just seems so hard. And the more considerate you are to them and their schedule, the more they're going to ignore that you're that way, because they actually resent you for it, because they're not like that. So the narc harem, they're trying to put you in is somebody that's accessible at their beck and call like that. And they will want you to see futuristic things that you would want from them enough that you'd want to hang in there and receive nothing but give them the best parts of you. And that's what they're trying to secure with you through flattery, false promises, miscommunication, even free sexual experiences if you'll give it to them, if it means that much to you. I did say I would do stuff sexually with this man, and I held up my end of the deal because that's my character of who I am. Now, sex means something to me. I didn't plan to do it more than a one-time thing. It wasn't intercourse or anything. It was just screwing around. And not that I felt I owed him, but I think that he felt I owed him for doing me the biggest favor to take me to the hospital to get my feet done. I didn't feel good about it afterwards. I don't think if I ever decided to do that with a man again or agree to it that I would actually hold up my end of the deal. I think I would actually just leave. But we live and we learn, right? And, you know, it's not a secret, so I'm going to share that. So he tried to make me a member of this narc harem, and I believe the other two people that were going to take me to a surgery I had done back in December were linked to him somehow because he knew their names, he knew their numbers. It was a coincidence running into these people at places that I went before the time, and both of these people committed to wanting to help me, these two girls, and they ditched me at the last minute, and the only person in the world that I had been hanging out with and sowing good seeds with was this guy, Jim. So I asked him in desperate times, please take me to this desperately needed foot surgery for my feet, for my toes. And he was, you know, good to do that. He was happy to help. And the second I could get in my car and go somewhere else, like to the salon to get my hair washed because I couldn't be on my toes for a certain amount of time. It was a rare bone surgery. It was very, very painful. He wanted nothing to do with me. He just ghosted me. I wasn't playing along anymore with the phone calls. I wasn't submitting to the fake promises. I just wasn't playing that role into his favor. And he knew there really wasn't anything to be gained. And the other thing they will do is show you other pictures of other women they've been with, or maybe even they're still seeing, to make you jealous on their phone. And so you'll be like, oh, isn't she hot? Oh my God. He may not even know this girl. It could just be some random girl he found on Instagram or something, and he's just using it to make you jealous. You know, guys lie. Let's be honest, women. They don't always tell the truth. Why would he? So, anyway, he'll treat you to a good time if it's cheap for him to do so, and it's convenient. If you're going to try to have it your way, on your terms, even on your time, even if it's with a conversation, you are sadly mistaken. This is the wrong person you are talking to, this man. So, to be a part of the narc harem, those are some of the signs and symptoms I've noticed that were pushed upon me, that came along in my path, that was new information from old people I had been with. So, if you notice any of these signs, get out immediately, even from the get-go. And they will be very, very pushy about sex. You will get scrutinized. You will get criticized. You will get bad attitude, you know, shit thrown at you for that. If you're not going to go along with things, if, you know, oh, you don't find me attractive, guilt trips, you know, set your standards and stick to it. And don't let anybody change that. You deserve so much better. And better is out there. We just got to believe it. But again, thanks for listening. This is Rosina Starr. If you have anything you want to share, please like in the comments and share with me. Or you can email me at rytenow666@yahoo.com. That's my new email for my coaching, and I have it set up so I will only receive emails for coaching. Appreciate you guys listening today. Take care.